All right, today we're tackling a big one. It's one of the most talked about, most critical new roles blowing up in the tech world right now, the AI product manager. You've probably seen this title popping up all over the place, right? But what does it actually mean to be one? So let's just get right to the heart of it with this big question. Is the classic product manager role, the one we've all known for years, being totally redefined by AI? Well, the short answer is a resounding yes, and we're about to unpack exactly how and why. Okay, so here's how we're going to break this down for you. First, we'll look at the big picture, the AI product revolution. Then, we'll get into a head-to-head comparison, the classic PM versus the AI PM. After that, we'll nail down their core mandate, list out the must-have skills, and wrap up by talking about your path forward if this sounds like you. All right, let's dive into section 1. Look, the main idea here is really important to grasp. AI products aren't just your standard software with a little bit of smart stuff sprinkled on top. No way. They are a whole new breed of product. And a new kind of product, well, it demands a totally new kind of leader. And to really get a feel for this shift, I love this analogy. Think about a traditional PM as is city planner, right? They have these detailed blueprints, these super defined features, these clear roadmaps. Everything is about building a predictable, stable system. Now, contrast that with an AI PM. They're much more like an ecosystem biologist. They're not working off a fixed blueprint. Instead, they're cultivating a living, breathing system that learns and evolves on its own. Their whole job is to nurture its growth, not just build it and walk away. Okay, so moving on from that cool analogy, let's get back to the real world and really break down what makes these roles different. This is where we get into the nitty-gritty details of what truly sets an AI PM apart. And this slide just lays it out so clearly. A traditional PM, their world is all about features, UI, UX, and what we call deterministic roadmaps. If a user clicks this button, that specific thing happens. It's predictable. But for an AI PM, the focus shifts big time. They are obsessed with data, with the performance of the models, and, this is a big one, managing probabilistic outcomes. AI doesn't always give you a perfect 100% certain answer. And with that uncertainty comes the need to navigate some seriously complex ethical questions. Now, if there's one concept an AI PM absolutely has to master, it's this, the data flywheel. Seriously, this is the engine that powers most successful AI products. It's this awesome virtuous cycle. So it goes like this. Your product gets used, and that generates data. You take that data to train and improve your model. A better model makes for a better product. A better product attracts more users. And what do? They generate even more data. An AI PM's core job is to get that flywheel spinning and keep it accelerating. Which brings us to their core mandate. You might be thinking, is this just a tiny specialization? Nope. Why is the AI PM a totally non-negotiable role for any company that's serious about AI? Well, it's because the challenges are completely unique, and frankly, the stakes are just incredibly high. Just take a look at the AI product lifecycle. The AI PM owns this thing from end to end. It all starts with step 1, defining the problem, and this is key, figuring out the data strategy to solve it. Then, step 2, they're overseeing all the model development and experimentation. But their job is far from over at launch. Step 3 is all about managing the deployment. And then step 4, and this is a huge part of the job, is to constantly monitor the model, retrain it, and fight against any performance decay over time. This quote here really just nails the whole idea. An AI PM's job isn't just to ship a product. Shipping is just the starting line. The real work is managing this living, ever-learning system and truly understanding its impact, not just on users, but on society. It's a massive, ongoing responsibility. And here's a perfect real-world example of why that ongoing management is so critical, something called model drift. So what is that? It's basically what happens when the real world changes but your model stays the same. The data it was trained on, it's suddenly out of date. It doesn't reflect reality anymore, and so its predictions start getting worse and worse. A great AI PM has to see this coming, monitor for it constantly, and have a plan to retrain that model before it becomes a real disaster. Okay, so what does it actually take to do this job well? Let's get into the skills, the essential competencies you need to have in your toolkit. It really boils down to 4 main pillars. First up, technical literacy. Now, you don't have to be a machine learning engineer, but you absolutely have to speak the language. You need to get ML concepts, APIs, and system design. Second, data acumen. This one is completely non-negotiable. You have to be comfortable swimming in data, understand statistics, and know how to run experiments.
Third, of course, the classic business and strategy skills are still vital. And finally, and this is becoming more important every day, you need a deep understanding of ethical and risk assessment, really thinking through bias, fairness, and user privacy. And this chart gives you a really good sense of the skill mix. You can see it's heavily weighted toward technical literacy and data skills, but that business and ethics slice is just as crucial. At the end of the day, a great AI PM is a translator. They have to be the person who can fluently speak the language of data science, engineering, business, and the end user, and bridge all those worlds together. All right, let's wrap this up with our final section, your path forward. How can you actually get into this field and successfully navigate this AI revolution that, let's be honest, is already here? Here is the number one takeaway I want you to have. A career in AI product management isn't about climbing some traditional corporate ladder. Forget that. It's all about getting yourself into a constant learning loop. You build something, you measure how it does, and you learn from it. The best advice is to focus on getting your hands dirty on real projects, not just chasing the next promotion or fancy title. That real hands-on experience is what's going to make all the difference. And so, we'll end on this thought. The future, it is being built on AI. That's not up for debate anymore. The only real question left is, who are you going to be in it? Are you going to be the city planner with a fixed blueprints? Or are you going to be the ecosystem biologist, cultivating something new and alive? It's definitely something to think about.